Let's see, we're more than halfway through the year. Uh, this will be airing on the 15th of July. And man, as usual, the year is going quickly. Uh, Weather hasn't been that bad. Actually, it's moderate. There's other parts of this country where I can assure you it's much warmer than it is here. I want you to just take a moment and think about the fact that, let me just read these verses to you. They're from the book of Ecclesiastes in chapter 12. And Ecclesiastes is Solomon as he works through all the, how can I say it, complications that come with being human and trying to live in a fallen world as a believer and understand how it all works. Which, by the way, I'm not sure that we're supposed to understand how it works. We're supposed to understand Him who works. And if we can do that the rest of our life, then I think we've done all right. I know Him in the midst of whatever He chooses to put me through. But notice what it says. It says the conclusion in verse 13 of chapter 12 is, when all has been heard, fear God. Keep His commandments. Because this applies to every person. That's very interesting. For God will bring every act into judgment, and everything which is hidden, whether it's good or evil. That's very interesting. We studied recently in the book of Revelation, speaking to those that had died during the tribulation. It says their works go with them. Their good deeds. Now, amazing that God keeps record of all these things. All the faith endeavors, all the times that we acted based upon our relationship with Him for another. He keeps all that in mind. He chooses to recognize that. Doesn't have to. It could, but He chooses to do that. And as we've said in the past, in Matthew 25 and verse 21 and 23, He gives us what is our responsibility. He's the one that decides what our scope will be, whether it be 2 talents or 5 talents. Doesn't matter, or 1 talent. Question is, what are we going to do with it? We only have this life to live by faith. And so we take what God has given us, whatever that may be, whatever the circumstance, situation, no matter how poorly we've been a steward of it prior to this time, in the moment of salvation, everything opens up, and we become aware of the fact that God has given us a great gift. We take that gift and do whatever God asks us to do, in whatever circumstance He places us in. Isn't that the story of the New Testament? Jesus didn't promise His disciples that everything was going to work out physically for them, experientially. He did say that He would be with them even till the end of the age. By the way, it's interesting to me in Matthew 28, verse 18 and on, that God says, all power is given to me, but yet I'm telling you that, I want you to know I'm with you till the end of the age. But He didn't say you're not going to suffer. In fact, He said in John 15, verse 13 and on, they hated me, they're going to hate you. Very interesting. He said, in the world, you're going to have tribulation, but be of good cheer. There, John 16, the last verse of that chapter. I've overcome this world. It's interesting. Whatever comes our way in the midst of the chaos of this world, God has provided for us His presence. Each and every one, each and every circumstance, each and every time. He's with us. Whether it be that we sense His presence in the Spirit, or whether it's just by faith, I know this to be true. That what God is asking of me is not to understand necessarily, but just to acknowledge His presence, not to understand how it works out. We talked about it last devotion, how Job, he was a person that, if you will, he spoke as if he knew something when he knew nothing regarding how God works. The one who has declared the end from the beginning, the one who knows all things. He's omniscient. Anyway, for you and I today, whatever he chooses to do, let's just honor his word. Let's believe the fact that Jesus Christ has power over the circumstance. It doesn't mean that it's a great place to be. It means it's a great God to be with in this place. It doesn't mean that I feel thrilled to be here, but I'm thrilled that I'm not alone. And I'll never be alone. I think that's the tragedy of hell, is that a person has chosen throughout their life. Every person will stand before God. Every one of us will give an account. And that a person has chosen throughout their life to reject the presence of God, and therefore they will live eternally because they would not accept it and they wouldn't acknowledge it. They will live eternally without it. Can you imagine that? Not that God isn't there. It says in Psalm 139 that if I made my bed in hell, you're with me. It's just you won't recognize it throughout eternity. It's the lack of that recognition that makes hell hell. The lack of knowing his presence. Till next time, friends. God bless you.